Hello, everyone. Welcome to our educational webinar performed by fertility specialists of IVMED Medical Center and specialists by IVMED Family Agency. My name is Irina Doroshenko. I'm medical coordinator of IVMED Family Agency in IVMED Clinic. Today, we will discuss our today's topic is surrogacy program Becoming Parents with IVMED Clinic and IVMED Family Surrogacy Agency, options and guarantees. Today's issues for our discussion will be standard and guarantee programs, the difference between clinical agency and how to work with agency as a partner, legal and exit process in surrogacy programs, and specifics of the surrogacy programs provided by IVMED Family Agency. I would like to introduce you our speakers today. It's Nadia Milenevska, PhD in Biology, Head of International Department of Customer Servicing at Medical Center IVMED, Director at IVMED Family IVF and Surrogacy Agency. Olga Chapla, PhD, Senior Embryologist at IVMED IVF Laboratory, ASHRES Certified Senior Embryologist, 11 years of IVF and genetics laboratories practice, and in 2019, she got European certification as a senior specialist. And our guest is Kruti and Tejas Safsani, a couple from Australia who participated in surrogacy program and became parents with IVMED Family Agency. Today, they will share with us their experience, some impressions, emotions, and some program details. So I just want to remind you that we have our general chat where you can ask any questions to our specialists of Medical Center IVMED or agency. So please feel free to ask any questions. I think we can start, and the first speaker will be Nadia Milenevska. Nadia, please.
I want to say hello to Tejas. Thank you for joining us today. That is a really big pleasure for us. And I want to start with my presentation. This presentation is dedicated to surrogacy process that we provide together with IVMED Clinic and IVMED Family Agency. I would like to tell you some details, how the process is arranged, which documents you will need to start surrogacy programs, and maybe which services you can use within our programs. Before starting, I would like to explain a little bit what is surrogacy program, because sometimes people do not understand correctly the role of each party of this program. So, of course, there are two basic sides: couple, intended parents, which, for example, cannot have a child due to some life circumstances or maybe medical conditions, but again, they have a chance to have a baby with assistance of surrogate mother. And the surrogate mother is a woman who should have at least one already born child due to Ukrainian legislation, and she voluntarily agrees to participate in the program. I want to insist that voluntary participates in the program because now we have a lot of different talks regarding some negative sides of surrogacy, but I should underline that surrogate mother gives absolute voluntary agreement to participate in such kind of program. What is agency? So agency, it is a kind of intermediary company But actually, agency is an official representative of couple, which acts obligatory based on power of attorney issued on the name of staff of agency. And agency has special responsibilities to arrange this process from the beginning. To provide coordinator from the first minutes of communication with patients, help them arrange their travel, pick up arrangement at the airports, arrange transport in Kiev, arrange accommodation. Then agency provides the services for surrogate mother. And this set of services include medical examinations, preparation of endometrium for embryo transfer, and medical pregnancy care program during 9 months. So in general, agency cares about two sides plus baby, which will be born at the end of the program. And according to power of attorney, agency can sign agreement between intended parents and surrogate mother, because it is very important to sign exactly notary agreement. Some clinics in Ukraine do not sign notary contracts. It is absolutely not correct. And in some trouble situation, you can hardly prove your rights. And again, it is direct break of legislation, Ukrainian legislation. And I should again inform you that notary contract is obligatory document. It should be signed before embryo transfer. Usually parents ask how long the surrogate program takes. So I just want to tell you that it is approximately 1 year. Agency team. Agency team includes more than 10 coordinators for intended parents and about 6 coordinators for surrogates. As well, we have some assistant staff who helps with, for example, accommodation, drivers, and food supply for surrogates. There are number of our staff that at least have photos. So you can see our senior coordinator, Olga Grinchenko, Nadia Davidovska, she is English-speaking coordinator, Spanish-speaking coordinator. Daria is Chinese-speaking coordinator. Valentina, also Chinese-speaking, English-speaking coordinator. Irina, English-speaking coordinator. And there are also some photos of girls above that coordinate surrogate mothers. And in the picture below, you can see some members of lawyers team and also again, some coordinators. I just want to say a few words about Medical Center IVMED. We have done a lot of webinars with specialists from Medical Center IVMED, with Dr. Galina Strelko and Dr. Lanova Veronika. These two fertility specialists, they are founders of Medical Center IVMED, and they are doctors, which personally I think the most important thing, because these specialists really understand the medical process, and they arranged the working system in the medical center in a perfect and very professional, on a very professional level. There are some photos of facility, medical center, IVMED operation rooms, And I want to uh, tell you a little bit about the examination of surrogate candidate. The surrogate candidates at IVMED are being checked very precisely because we see that the success of the program mainly depends on the health of surrogate mother. So from taking into examination more than 10 candidates, finally we can propose only one candidate, but this candidate will be perfectly checked, and due to number of possible infections, diseases, including psychiatrist and narcologist. What is peculiarities of surrogacy programs with egg donation? Surrogacy programs with egg donation considers the involvement the third, so to say, party in this process. It is egg donor. How to choose egg donor? Medical Center IVMED and IVMED Family Agency developed quite convenient database of egg donors. You can get an online access to this base and search for a candidate that will match your criteria. All donors in this base are already examined, so you don't have just to choose the donor and then wait whether this donor will pass the examination or not. They all are ready to start stimulation. And regarding the waiting time for a donor, it can be the closest menstrual period of a donor when we can start stimulation. And if this donor that you have chosen is between stimulation, so you will have to wait up to 3 months. Here are some screenshots taken from our database. And you can see that here we include the selection by different parameters to make your search easier. Then you can choose, for example, different features like color of eyes, color of blood type, color of hair, etc. You will get information, some personal information, photos, but I should remind you that in Ukraine, we have the law of anonymity. So unfortunately, we cannot give you the name or just visual interview with a donor because we don't have legal right for that. And but you should understand, because of this restriction, a donor in the end doesn't have parental rights to your child. For example, if embryos were made with egg donor cells. And also this base includes the samples of voice and also some samples of handwriting, so on. If you just want to have more data about the chosen egg donor, again, you can make a request to our coordinators. They will talk to a donor and get more information for you. How we examine the egg donors. Egg donors are being checked for a big number of infections, to some genetic diseases, the carrying of some genes that can provoke development of some syndromes. And again, we check carefully for cancer threat, because egg donor cannot start stimulation, hormonal stimulation, in case if they have this threat. And we think that is good indication even for IVF process because we understand, for example, that in these donors, the risk of cancer is limited. I mean, inherited risks. Which services for intended parents you can find in our list of services for surrogacy program? Yes, for every couple, we provide accompanied by special trained personal coordinator who speaks your language. Then airport pickups, driver services, accommodation, at least some parents who, for example, wants to have their own stimulation and make embryos for transfer, they can visit clinic, for example, 2 times. First for IVF, signing contracts, papers, and then they visit the second time for delivery, and can stay up to months or 2. It depends on exit process and requirements of embassy. And we provide this assistance for IPs just to feel comfortable in Kiev. So, and regular detailed reports about ongoing pregnancy, it is very important because, of course, parents want to live together with development of their child. They want to understand each step from the tiny embryo implanted to uterus and developing into fetus and then in child, and they want to feel together with the surrogate all these changes. So it is very important, and we send regularly reports translated to the language of parents, and if they have questions, we consult them using some doctor's consultation. And I want to emphasize on high standards of communication. That is a standard of IVMED to provide quick and informative answers. So we use WhatsApp chat groups with our coordinators, and usually we also include agency management to control, because if, for example, coordinator is busy and cannot answer in short time, management always can check the message and answer quicker. Services for intended parents and child. Assistance in general practitioner. Visiting means that, for example, if you personally feel badly and you need consultation of doctor, you can notify coordinator, and coordinator will always help you. Just again assisting you with translation, with visiting doctor at the hospital. Then we provide accommodation for 3 days in maternity hospital. That is a separate ward where you can stay with your child up to delivery. Then vaccination and test for child. Again, if you want to make vaccination to a child, you can notify our coordinators, and it will be done. Just we have general recommendations that you should pay attention that the child should be vaccinated with the same time of vaccine, and it means that if this type of vaccine is not available in your country, so the second and the next vaccination will be a little bit less effective. So pay attention on the manufacturer of the vaccines. Then again, regular visits of neonatologist for child examinations. I will tell you a little bit detailed later. And regarding services for surrogate mother, because it is the second part of this process, and who maybe needs more assistance, physical assistance than IPs, and we provide for them again specially trained medical coordinators. They have medical or biological background, educational background, so they can professionally react on current situations. For example, in case of troubles, they are available 24/7 hours, and they answer calls day, night, react immediately, and can contact doctors as soon as possible to get some medical advice, and just to understand to which hospital, for example, should be hospitalized the surrogate mother. And now, due to hard situation with COVID-19, we had to rearrange our control system of surrogates' health. I mean, when they live not in Kiev, but on initial steps live remotely in their towns. And so at the moment they should measure in the morning the body temperature and blood pressure, and notificate the coordinator about their current state. Also, the surrogates, they sometimes can mix some information while they prepare for embryo transfers. So coordinators explain them each time, just helping them understand the logic of the protocol, taking medicines, how to take them. They make videos, and some issue some instruction for them. Again, they arrange transport to clinic. At the moment, again, due to quarantine problems, the access to clinic and the transport doesn't work regularly. Just a few days ago, it was again, it started again working, and now we want to proceed with our programs more actively with preparations and embryo transfers. And coordinators, they again follow the surrogates during each visit to doctor. They make notifications, they completely involved in their cases, and there cannot be situation when nobody understands in which stage the surrogate mother now. So it's completely controlled process. And also services for surrogate mother include rented apartment in Kiev on 22nd week in case of twin pregnancy, on 26th week in case of single pregnancy, and under the threat of miscarriage, again, we take the surrogate earlier to rented apartment in Kiev. Also, coordinators assist them with food ordering. They communicate with psychologists, and also we provide a nanny for surrogate mother kits when she visits clinic for examinations, for checkups, and sometimes we send them small gifts just to raise their general mood and to feel more optimistic. And medical pregnancy care program includes the number of tests, the number of very important screenings. The first important screening is on 12th week of progressive pregnancy, and the next one is on 19th 20 week of pregnancy. And we just want to point your attention that if there is a need of abortion, it can be done only until 22nd week of pregnancy. And again, it needs a special medical commission, passing through special medical commission, and there should be just profound reasons to stop this pregnancy. So you can see a number of different analyses which regularly being checked. It is very important to have pregnancy care program in some special clinic, for example, like in fertility clinic IVMED, because it is important to control all parameters, infections, some infections even that are revealed during pregnancy, or for example, they were in some, so to say, sleeping condition and then revealed just because the immune system of surrogate mother was a little bit depressed due to pregnancy. Again, it is important to treat these diseases, these infections in time, and not to have it after delivery in child. There are some photos of our surrogates. We do everything for them that they feel just normal, happy. Just we do everything for that. And maternity hospital, that is important point. And just which services are included here. We usually have delivery in State Maternity Hospital number 1, located in city center. But now, due to quarantine, there are some limitations in visiting, unfortunately, kids and hospitalization. We hope this situation will change, and we will again back to this hospital, and again we'll have delivery here. Temporarily, we have delivery at private maternity hospital, but unfortunately, it takes some additional extra costs. So again, if you will need some assistance, to have delivery in private maternity hospital, it is possible to change it, and just for extra charge. And there are separate wards for surrogate mother and intended parents. And for example, in State Hospital number 1, intended parents can come on final stage of delivery, take the child in hands, and cut the cord if they want, and then they leave the ward with the child, and then they stay in a separate room. Also, our programs now start to, we decided to include new programs, the insurance for NICU, that is intensive care nursery. So now we cover the unlimited medical care for premature or mature children, but just with one limitation: for twin pregnancy we cover up to €5,000, and in standard program types there is an option to purchase additionally the guarantee for €2,500. So we hope that will help parents to solve their problems with unexpected troubles. And discharge from maternity hospital, again, you will have the assistance of personal coordinator. who will assist you and translate for you during the visits of neonatologists who will come to your apartment and will check the baby periodically. Then neonatologist will help you to match baby formula. Then again, also an option if you want to have pram, baby bed, weighing scales, it is possible just for extra charge. And a personal coordinator arranges and assists during all consultations with specialists which might be needed additional in other hospitals. And the final but important point that is legal services and exit process. At the moment we want to assure our patients that actually we have quite big experience in exit processes, and we collaborate with experienced and well-known lawyers, partner lawyers who provide us assistance in exit process for intending parents. And actually at the moment there is no problem for actually any country. Just everything should be done in time and due to the list of requirements of embassy or the legislation of the country. So what is the role of team, lawyers team? They obligatory in details verify the documents on initial step. It is very important because later when you will try to register a baby, there will be problems. If there are some papers, for example, do not have a postil, or there are mistakes in names, or etc. It is very important to check everything in the beginning. And again, they assist in signing contract with surrogate mother, and they register a baby, makes a postil and documents for embassy. And again, as I told before, that if, for example, there are some special requirements from embassies, we just involve the partner lawyers. Their services included in our programs, and they even communicate with the lawyers in your country, and together they effectively and very fast helps to leave the country with a baby. And I just want to tell you also that very important point, we do DNA testing for children just after their birth. We just need to have a look biomaterial like blood samples or salvage, and we can test and confirm the parental relation. And after that, the clinic issues the genetic relation certificates, which allows parents to register a baby. And I want to tell a little bit about which kind of documents you will need to start surrogacy program. Surrogacy program can be started in case if you can provide the medical certificate about the conditions which describes why you cannot bear pregnancy by yourself, and it should be just original of your medical certificate, an official blank of your hospital. And we need a marriage certificate because according to Ukrainian legislation, only married couple can have a surrogacy program in Ukraine. And we also, and this marriage certificate should be with a postal. And also, if you will enter country, for example, for the first visit, you can make power of attorney here in Kiev, and we also can make copies of your passports. If, for example, you have in donation program, or you just want to ship your embryos or biomaterial to Ukraine, and you do not plan to enter the country for the first time, you just can again send all this biomaterial and send us documents, contracts signed, and passports with a postal, marriage certificate with a postal, and after that we can proceed with surrogacy process. That is, I think, enough for today. If you will have questions, for example, regarding how we arrange in details the support for surrogates, we can recommend you to watch our previous webinars where our the head of Department for Surrogates Coordination tells about the process and how they arrange it and how they react in some unexpected situation and so on and so on. So thank you for attention, and Irina.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation.
Give you back the desktop.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I saw that we have questions from our participants, but first of all, I want right now to invite our guest to the word. It's Kruti and Tejas. We really appreciate that you join our webinar and agreed to share your experience. Yes, so please, I'll give you a word.
Sure. Hello, everyone. We have a special guest with us as well, our son, who was born 2 weeks ago, who has also decided to wake up and join the webinar. So excuse us if he makes any noises or decides to cry in between. Yeah. Look, I just wanted to, Kruti and I, have had a tough journey. Being a parent is sometimes not as easy for couples, and some of us are not that fortunate, and we have had a rough journey, and it was pretty much obvious for us, about 14-15 months ago that we wanted to do surrogacy. We obviously we were lost, where to start, what to do, and not only choosing the agency and the clinic, but even what country do we choose, etc. So it was quite a big challenge, and it required a lot of research. But I think what we've learned now that we sitting here with our son, I think the start of the process is always the difficult. If we share our experience, I think choosing the right agency and the clinic makes a huge difference. We have been very, very fortunate, and we are glad that we made a decision to go with IVMED. We obviously had our doubts initially. We had specific requirements of ours, what we needed to do, and also, we were not sure if, we will be able to achieve what we wanted to achieve, and we will be looked after. But thanks to Nadia and team, to they have made this impossible dream come true for us. And I think if I just speak in general, I think the biggest decision that we had to make is to choose the agency, to be honest. That was the difficult one, and thereafter Nadia and team have made it so easy for us. The entire journey, since we signed the contract with IVMED, it has been very, very smooth. We have been hearing a lot of stories from a lot of IPs, their experience with the agencies and clinics, and the things not always go right. And then obviously we were also concerned about it, but I think Nadia and team have made it very easy. Look, I think if I may just share, how we came to a decision to go with IVMED. We had our set criteria. We wanted a guaranteed program. We wanted an agency who is not working with the clinic, but be part of the clinic. And not many agencies are there. We saw a lot of people, experiencing communication gaps, issues, because agencies is a completely independent company, and the clinic is a working completely in isolation as well. So the communication and the collaboration between the two is not always good. So I think we wanted really to be that communication is quite important, and that collaboration makes it the process very, very easy and transparent for the IPs, because we don't need we're going through so much emotionally, financially. We don't need the additional stress about what goes behind the scenes between the agency and the clinic. So that was one of the key thing we wanted to make sure that it's a one company, or it's a one management. So that really ticked a big box for us, and we wanted peace of mind by going in as a guaranteed program, because we wanted to be certain and also control our finances such a way that in the event if we have to try a few times, then it's not too heavy on the pocket as well. I think when we did our research and we did interviews with all the agencies, we went through the screening process, and I think IVMED clearly came as a winner for us, because the inclusions in the program, as Nadia has just explained, it covers lot of those things that are not covered by if you go with the agency and a clinic separately. As well, things like the accommodations, the transportations, the doctor's visits, the help that you can get when you have a little one, I think the way they also looked after our surrogate mother, the accommodation, the transportations for the surrogate mother, the food, the medications, the regular visits, etc. That was quite satisfactory for us as well. I think our relationship with surrogate mother has been very, very close. Throughout the journey, we spoke to our surrogate mother in our agency. Irina and Nadia did help us a lot, have those conference calls and video calls set up anytime we wanted to talk to our surrogate mother, obviously because of the language barriers. Look, I think overall, the most important thing that we can say is choose your agency. If you're keen and if you have decided to do a surrogacy, just get into it, because I think everything thereafter is sort of will fall into places. Even with the current COVID situations and everything that is going around in the world, things will work out, and things will, it just, I think if you're made your mind, just go for it, because the joy of being parent is something that we cannot explain. So Yeah, we cannot thank enough, and cannot. We will highly recommend, IVMED, the way they looked after us. So if we can help with any questions and answers, we're more than happy to.
Best of luck, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much that you joined our webinar and share with us your impressions. We wish you all the best, you and your child. Hope everything will be fine, and best wishes. Thank you so much, Tejas.
And I just want to add that Tejas and Kruti, they passed through real trial due to this quarantine situation. They had to I don't know, hardly try to cross the borders, and they were really brave and active. They are a sample, real, very brave people.
Thank you.
They encouraged us and our lawyers for contacting all facilities or just official organs, whatever, just to get them and the grades.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you.
No, best of luck, everyone. Really, if you have anything, you can always, I'm happy to answer.
This dream do come true, okay? So just hang in there.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we continue our webinar and start to answer questions. The first question that I saw: hello, I'm from Germany. As I know, exit process is really complicated. Did you have patients from Germany, and did you have an experience with exit process to Germany? Nadia, I think it's your question.
Thank you for question. Yes, we had couples from Germany. Germany has very strict rules for, again, surrogacy process is banned in Germany, and the only way to arrange this process only using the data of father. And again, the surrogate mother for a couple for Germany should be single, not married. In case if married, the process will be impossible to proceed. Again, we collaborate with partner lawyer Olga Danchenko. She arranges exit process, and she's quite successful, especially for German couples. So yes, absolutely possible. If you want, we can even share, for example, the contacts of our parents from Germany. They can share the experience.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, the next one is also to you. Hi, Nadia. I have a question. What if I want to check my surrogate mother if she had an alcohol? Can I ask you to do the test? Very popular.
Popular question. As I told in my presentation, we do random testing for surrogate mother. And again, if you, for example, need some performing of test not out of order, for example, of random order, yes, sure, it is possible to do. So.
Thank you for the answer. The next one I saw, hello, my husband is 36. I can have a baby. We want to try surrogacy with egg donation guarantee program. His DNA fragmentation is 18%, morphology 40%, motility is 76. And can he be accepted for guarantee program? Olga, I think we need your help.
Hello. Basically, a very important parameter of ejaculate is not mentioned in this question, because we also should know the concentration or the general count of spermatozoa to decide whether it's a normozoospermia or, for example, oligozoospermia case. And in order to say the final decision, we probably should apply to our great agency to ask them this question one more time and to provide the initial result. And of course, we will confirm or not, depending on the more detailed analysis. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question about the programs. If we try standard program with my ex, but didn't succeed, can we transfer to guarantee program? Nadia?
Thank you. Yes, it is possible to, for example, sign a contract with 2 appendixes. For example, start with the standard IVF, and then in case if the attempts will fail, you can shift to guaranteed conditions, and you just pay the difference between program prices. It is possible. You can contact us. We can, for example, give you calculations how it is possible to arrange.
I have embryos in another clinic and I had an agency, but I want to change an agency and transport my embryos to your clinic. Can I change an agency? Nadia, I think we also need your help.
Change your agency. Yes, it's your right. If you want to stop your relations with one agency and move to another, it is just, we can discuss it. You can contact us. It's possible to do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. The next, I'm 42. I have low anti-Müllerian hormone and can carry a baby. What can you recommend surrogacy with own eggs or donor eggs? As my doctor said, I can't use my own eggs because of age. Olga, please.
I really think that you have to see our specialists, reproductologists, to answer this question precisely, because it's really difficult to anticipate the result according to your text. It should be a good medical examination of, again, your follicular reserve. But if you proceed with your own eggs, taking into consideration your age, you should go on to the cycle with NGS testing of embryos in order to be sure that the embryo that we will get after a culture will be healthy, and this healthy embryo will be transferred to surrogate. So basically, if, for example, doctor says that, yes, you have eggs, you can proceed with your own eggs, please be sure to look for PGT testing for your embryos. If you go for oocyte donations, well, probably you can go even without PGT. It's up to you and doctor's decision after examination.
Thank you, Olga. One more question for you. I'm 35 and my husband is 40. We are planning to do surrogacy. I want my stimulation and we are thinking about NGS. Is it possible to do in your clinic? Do we need to do it?
First of all, we have a huge experience of embryo biopsy and NGS testing in our clinic. So, of course, yes. But from the other point of view, whether you should do it or not, probably there is no right decision. I mean that there's a lot of factors that should be stated before you can decide whether you need NGS testing or not, because there are some strict indications like spontaneous abortions in your history, repeated implantation failure, advanced maternal age that is higher than 37, 38 years, that say, yes, you have to proceed with NGS testing. But in your particular case, if it's your first surrogacy trial, probably you may go on without NGS testing, but think about it very thoroughly, because NGS by itself facilitates the result of treatment, because we know that embryos that we transfer are healthy, and so we get the pregnancy quicker. So probably you should start the treatment and think about it one more time with your doctor, of course. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next question. Hi, could you please tell me what happens if my baby was born, but I'm not still in Ukraine? Thanks. Nadia, please.
This hard situation, and again, if you cannot enter Ukraine just because the borders are closed, that is one problem. If you cannot enter Ukraine for your personal reasons, it is another issue. Again, so this I don't understand from which country you are, but again, if the problem in crossing borders due to quarantine, at the moment we have such solution. The ombudsman so that is some legal representatives of government. They proposed their assistance in helping parents crossing borders. Denisova, the family name of this person, and she offers her help. You can turn, for example, to this person and ask her to apply for permission to enter Ukraine at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and your application will be considered, and you will get the permission to enter. But just a few hours ago, I just read the news that our government is planning to open borders. So hope your problem will be solved automatically. Thank you for question.
Thank you. The next, I have also a question to Olga. If we transfer to surrogate mother to embryos, the chance will be higher.
Definitely, the chance of getting pregnancy will be higher, but also the chance of getting twin pregnancy will be significantly higher. And twin pregnancy is not only two cute babies that you may get, but it's also a higher risk of some gynecologic problems and higher risks for baby's health. So as an embryologist, I always opt for selective embryo transfer. It means transfer of only one embryo because it's natural. The pregnancy with one baby is natural. It is the right one because we usually get such a pregnancy. But from the other point of view, of course, if you dream about two babies at one attempt, you can go on with transferring of two embryos too.
Thank you. And one more question to you. I had IVF in Japan. I have two embryos, 4cc and 3ab. Are there any chance to transfer embryos to a clinic and transfer it to surrogate mother? As I was told, success rate is really low.
Of course, you can transfer your embryos to our clinic, and we would be proud of it, for your trust. And from the other point of view, there are a lot of companies that offer their help for embryo shipment to different countries. So you may actually apply to them and ship your embryos from Japan to Ukraine. But I'd like to encourage you, even if it's stated that embryo are of poor quality, it doesn't mean that they are not able to implant. It means that probably they have a lower chance to implant, but embryo grading is quite subjective. So your 4cc embryo may be graded as 4bb in a different laboratory. Well, I think that anyway, it's better to try and to know the result than to just say, okay, let's leave these embryos alone. So, welcome to your embryos, and we will be glad to see your future babies in our IVF lab. Thank you.
Thank you. I saw that we have already answered on all questions, so I think we can finish our webinar. Thank you for all participants. Thank you for our speakers, our guests. It was really interesting and useful information. I want to announce that a next webinar will be dedicated to anti-Mullerian hormone and PRP therapy, so please join next webinar. Thank you for your time and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.